Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to day 95 of the tip of the day. So today I actually wanted to talk about a continuation of what we were discussing in tip number 94, which is we talked about that initially, when I got introduced to Eckhart Tolle's teachings, the greatest tip I took away from, especially reading A New Earth and watching the A New Earth webcast on YouTube, which is Oprah Winfrey interviewing Eckhart, chapter by chapter. Like he would explain why he wrote the chapter and what were the nuances, and then people would call in. So you got a little bit more absorption of the content of the chapter just out of the questions that people were asking. So initially, all I did was like apply the teachings of Eckhart. And I bought the book A New Earth as an audiobook on iBooks. And then I bought The Power of Now as a book. And I used to have like an hour-long commute to work back and forth. So it was like a 2 hour long commute. And that's what I would do during the commute is listen to his book. And wherever I would have time, I always had a Bluetooth speaker. I would just put the book on the Bluetooth speaker. So maybe in a year or two, maybe 2 or 3 years, I probably have listened to those books like 50, 60 times a day. So applying those teachings is almost like what Dr. Joe Dispenza calls mental rehearsal. Like, you watch what you're doing, you're watching your thoughts, you're watching your emotions, and then you are learning from Eckhart's teachings what not to do, right, from the book. So one of the things that Eckhart says as part of a Q&A, I think it was during the conscious manifestation course, somebody asked him that he ends up detecting, like while he is interacting with somebody, he has a reaction. And during the interaction, he realizes that he has a reaction. So this is the example that Eckhart gave, that initially when we are unconscious, like we are spiritually completely unconscious, there is no presence power flowing through us. What happens is we are just action reaction, things that if traffic makes us angry, every day that we get into the traffic makes us angry. Every day that we get into like maybe there's a coworker that irritates us. Every day that the coworker irritates us, the moment we see them, we feel that irritable feeling, right? So it's just action, reaction, action, reaction, action, reaction. Then he says that the second stage, spiritual stage, is that exactly where this guy was, with that you are interacting with somebody, and then there's a reaction to whatever that this person is saying. And in the middle of the reaction, you kind of figure out, oh, I'm becoming unconscious. So that is the second stage. So what I would say to all of you, this is my tip. If you are at the second stage, celebrate it. Instead of going, oh my God, like after it happens, right? That you have yelled at somebody or said something in a scathing tone or whatever it is, then or you call somebody names, whatever you may have done as part of your conditioned behavior of unconsciousness, you did it while interacting with this person, but then realize in the middle, actually it's not so much as in the middle of the reaction, it's more after the reaction, like you've done the reaction and then you realize, reflecting upon it, you realize that's the second stage, that You already reacted in the middle of the reaction, and then afterwards you realize, oh my God, I did this. The third stage is what I talked about earlier, that you're in the middle of the reaction, and you then realize that, oh my God, I'm becoming unconscious. The fourth stage is that you're going to just feel it as an emotional feel, that you're going to be in your body, and you're going to feel it as an emotional feel, but you will not react. The fifth stage is you're not going to react at all. So let me repeat it again. The first stage of your spiritual awakening is you're just going to be action, reaction, action, reaction. You're going to use the scathing voice. You're going to get angry. You're going to be manipulative. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be depressed. Whatever your reactivity is, the ego is taking over, and you are becoming reactive. That's the first stage. The second stage is you're interacting with somebody, and Eckhart says human beings are the best. It's like we don't have natural disasters. Those challenges don't happen in the form of natural disasters. Right now, our greatest spiritual teacher are human beings. So the second stage is that you've had the interaction. After you look upon the interaction, you reflect on the interaction and go, oh my God, I was so unconscious in that interaction. That happens as a second stage. So what I would say is, if you get to the second stage where you can figure out that you were unconscious in the middle of the interaction, that you were unconscious during the interaction, that in itself is victory. Because I'm going to mix both teachings. Like, the whole concept of mental rehearsal of Dr. Joe is to always move towards the new self. So if you did not acknowledge that after an interaction that you were able to detect that you were unconscious, then you are not going to know that you are progressing, right? If you don't acknowledge your progression on the spiritual scale, then you're not going to progress, because you're going to focus on, oh, I'm reacting, I'm no good, I'm not making any progress on the spiritual scale, right? So it is really, really important that you go, oh my God, I could figure out that I am reacting in that unconscious manner when I'm interacting, when I'm having this sort of interaction. Then I would say, if you get to the third stage where you are interacting, and in the middle of the interaction, you go ahead and have that, you hold back and go, oh my God, now I'm getting unconscious, and you stop the unconsciousness, celebrate that, hold it as victory. That'll be part of your mental rehearsal, that you are moving, you're going to affirm, oh, look, I'm becoming my new self, that at least I'm able to see that I am now reacting, I'm becoming unconscious in the middle of the reaction. Then this is the third stage. The fourth stage would be that you're just feeling the reactivity as an emotion within your body, but you're not blurting out or saying something, calling people names, using a scathing voice, or saying something that you're not supposed to say. When you're in that stage, then celebrate that, hold it as victory, because that is the whole principle of doing the mental rehearsal, that until you can affirm that you are becoming the new self, you're not going to become the new self. It's not like, oh, I'm working towards my new self. You draw a picture of the new self and boom, you're going to be the new self. No, there are going to be stages. There's going to be gradual stages for you to become your new self, but you have to affirm every time. You have to appreciate, you have to recognize, you have to acknowledge your movement on the spiritual scale, that, oh, Now I'm reacting, but internally I can just feel it as flutter. That coworker has come, sat down beside me, and I can feel that flutter. And I'm still not reacting. I'm just going ahead and with kindness and compassion, I'm working with them, right? And then the last stage is that you're not going to react at all. So this is my tip for today, is the key to mental rehearsal is to always acknowledge that you are moving towards the new self. Don't use stories like what would happen is normally when we react, right, then the guilt comes in. Guilt is, Eckhart says guilt, shame, and blame are ego's favorite strategies to strengthen itself. The guilt would come in. Oh my God, I was so mean to that person. I used such a scathing voice to respond to them. I went to the store and I told the cashier, how long are you going to take? Like in a very ugly voice. Why are you taking such a long time to check everybody out? I'm having to wait so long. But whatever reactivity you have, if you don't have that reactivity, acknowledge it. That is my tip for today. I think a lot of people don't acknowledge that they are moving up the spiritual scale, and that will cause a regression. You'll go back to your old self. You'll start becoming the victim identity. You'll play into your victim identity of, oh, look, poor little me. I can't even do this. I'm still reacting. But you're not realizing, you're not celebrating. That you have to celebrate each and every little change in you. You have to celebrate it, so that the divine kind of like is noticing your efforts, right? In your own acknowledgement. And when I say your, it is the witnessing faculty in your consciousness is acknowledging you. So the divinity within you is acknowledging, look, I did not react. I did not say anything. This huge thing happened to me, but I did not react. I just said, thank you so much. I know in 2019, when I lost my job, what I told my, and this was like not my manager, but my manager's manager, like a senior manager called me to, let me know that I had been part of this right sizing within the company. And there were like 1,000 people let go, and she had like another 40 or 50 people that she needed to call, and she was making her calls right to each person and letting them know that they had a 90-day notice to look for a job. And all I told her is, thank you so much. It was a pleasure working with you, and I want you to take time for yourself. I know it is going to be really hard on you yourself, right? That you have to call 40 people and you're affecting 40 people's, I could have the empathy and compassion that how difficult is their job, that they have to tell 40 people that they're about to affect their lives and their family and their children, right? So that's how incredibly amazing the whole spiritual path is, and spiritual practices, is that you can be losing your job, but you're having empathy for the other person instead of having empathy for yourself, that you're about to lose a paycheck. You're having an empathy for the other person, right? So I want all of you, that's my wish, that everybody gets to that level of spiritual growth, that there is no reactivity. There's complete acceptance of what is. Like the call comes in, you're on the phone, and there's acceptance, right? Complete acceptance of what is, and there is no reactivity. And all you do is then you start to use whoever the recruiting, they normally provide like a recruiting service that helps you with your resume and everything. You start engaging with the recruiting service, get your resume prepared, and do what is needed, right? Update your LinkedIn profile and then apply for jobs. So my tip for today is that when you are moving to your new self, acknowledge all the steps where you are actually making progression. Unless you acknowledge the progression, you will not move to your new self. You just regress back because your old self is going to say, oh, look at you, you can't even do that. You just reacted. Oh, look at you, you can't even do this. You reacted, right? You anyway blew up that relationship with that person by telling them whatever you told them, by being angry with them or what have you, right? So remember that first, you're going to be totally unconscious. Second, the incident will happen. You'll be unconscious during the incident because the pain body will take over. But at the end, when you reflect back on the incident, then you're going to go, oh, I was unconscious during the incident. The third stage is that you will know during the middle of the incident, you will go, oh, I need to hold back. I think I'm getting unconscious. That is progression. Then the fourth, you'll go through the incident, but you will feel the emotions, like you know the sensations within your body, and you go, okay, I can feel the sensation that I'm about to start getting frustrated and angry with this person. So I need to take a deep breath and not respond. And the very last stage is you don't get upset at all. You are always in a state of acceptance. That's the first modality of awakening, doing, according to Eckhart in A New Earth, is a state of acceptance. The second is a state of joy. And third is the state of enthusiasm. So our normal state, which is not normal, it's abnormal. A normal state needs to be a state of acceptance. I'm hoping you'll enjoy this and apply it, and looking forward to hearing how you have acknowledged, recognized, appreciated, been grateful for your new self as you're making those shifts in your spiritual path and moving up the spiritual scale. With that, have a wonderful weekend. It's Sunday. Thank you so much, and eternally grateful for all the love and support. Many blessings. Thank you. Bye.